What's up guys, I'm Demetrius. I'm the head coach here at Legends Boxing Cottonwood. Today I'm going to give you guys 7 tips to practice while you're hitting the heavy bag. Alright guys, so the first tip I'm going to give you guys here is moving our feet around the bag. Typically, when I'm sparring with someone or I'm fighting someone, what I don't want to do is stay in the same position while I'm boxing. It makes me a very easy target. Now, also from a workout perspective, while I'm moving my feet, it's going to make me more active. I'll be moving around, I'll be burning more calories while I'm hitting and moving. Boom, boom. Now, it doesn't have to be very hard. I don't have to do anything too complicated while I'm moving my feet on there. Everything can be really simple. I can even just throw 1, 2, pivot out. 2, 3, 2, pivot in on there. 1, 1, step back. 1, 2, step back, 2 on there. So if you guys feel pretty uncomfortable with it, just try to work the basics at first, then we can start progressing from there. All right, guys, so the second tip I'm gonna give you guys here is try not to smother your punches on here. Too many times, people will be right here throwing their 1s and 2s, so it's gonna be really short. Try to take a half step back, and I wanna work on getting full extension on my punches. Okay, now what I don't want to do is lock my elbow out or try to hyperextend it, but I can still get those few extra inches with my punches, especially in the game of boxing when boxing is a game of inches. Tip number 3 here is going to be working on not telegraphing your punches. Now, what I mean by that is giving a tell or telegraphing and letting them know that that punch is coming. A really common one is when people go to throw like a 1 or a 2, they'll flare their elbow up, then shoot that punch out. What I want to practice is getting that shot off straight from my chin and right back, okay? So I want to keep my elbows in nice and tight, making sure that everything's coming straight from my face. I'm not giving my opponent any inclination of what I'm gonna throw on there, okay? Tip number 4 is changing up the tempo of my punches. Now, what I mean by that is I'm not throwing everything as hard as I can every time I throw it, but I'm also not throwing everything light on there, okay? I wanna have a variety of tempos with my punches so that way I can work on throwing my opponent off. So maybe I'm tapping really light, boom, then I throw a hard power shot. So I throw a hard shot, boom, double jab on there, okay? So just focus on changing that tempo a little bit and it'll make you way more, boom, deceptive with your boxing. The next tip here we're to work on is throwing realistic combinations. Now this is good if I'm just working some free bag here. Now what I mean by realistic combinations is typically in a fight, I'm not gonna throw a 10-punch combination. It's not gonna roll that way. So I wanna keep things nice and concise, boom, boom, boom. Maybe I throw 3 punches, boom, 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 boom. I throw 6 punches the next one, boom, boom, boom. 3 again, 1, 2, on there. So you guys can see as I'm doing that, 1, I'm keeping my combination short, but 2, I'm also changing up the number of punches I'm throwing each time on there. So that, again, I'm trying to deceive my opponent. All right, guys, so our next tip here is gonna be keeping our hands high, okay? Now, it's a bad habit, and a lot of people have it when they're hitting the bag, they feel comfortable dropping their hands because there's not any punches coming back at them, okay? Now, you're right, there aren't any punches coming back, but now when I get into an actual sparring situation, when I'm moving like this, I'm just leaving my chin wide open to get hit, okay? So it's a good rule of thumb to always practice keeping your hands high, always bring them right back to your chin, and maintaining good technique on there, okay? All right, guys, and then our final tip here is gonna be moving our head after our punches or in the middle of combinations, okay? Now, I know there aren't any punches coming back at you, so people get in a bad habit of just staying right in that same spot, throwing their punches, but when I'm sparring, there's a real possibility that I can get popped in the face on there, okay? So I wanna add some subtle head movement in with my combinations. Now, a good rule of thumb while you guys are starting that is keep things very, very simple. Like it could just be 1, 2, slip, 2. I don't need to do anything too crazy yet. I'm just trying to build that habit of every time I'm throwing a combination, I'm moving my head with my shots. All right, guys, and those are 7 of the most common tips. Try to incorporate some of these tips when you're hitting your heavy bags, whether you're at a Legends boxing gym or whether you're just hitting a bag at home.